take a run through of this show by Sergej Jensen here at Anton Kern, and I couldn't find a guide to the paintings, the titles, the dimensions of the materials, so we're just going to wing this. But I thought this was kind of an interesting show because it's what I would consider the latest trends in provisional paintings from Europe. And I think one of the other interesting things is that Sergej does a lot of stuff using fabric as his color blocks. That's nice. It's a smaller piece. I'd say this is probably about maybe 16 by 24. Almost looks like, I think it is jute. And that's about as painterly as he gets. A lot of this work is very subtle and it's almost approaching monochrome. This painting is probably about 5 foot square. This is a good sized painting. It's probably about 7.5 feet by 6. This really is a good example of his kind of bold and simple use of fabrics for his blocks of color. I think that's also on either a very loose and rugged linen, or maybe it is jute. It's kind of nice. I don't have a title, but I assume it's maybe acrylic and collage. I like his little sewed on pieces here. Oh, there's Knight Landesman, the primary color guy. This is also just lightly stained with a kind of a rusty red. This one is probably about 12 by 16 or 18. Pop in the back gallery for a second. This was kind of an intriguing piece, very dark. And here he's collaged on another section over the top, but this kind of this oval, very subtle. And I don't know how he dragged in the rust color over the top. Stitched up tear there. One of the other things that he uses in a couple of pieces is kind of, looks like he's taken the paintings off the stretchers and sort of moved them over, which basically makes you even more aware of the fact that this is a piece of fabric stretched on a wooden frame. Run through the last part of this real fast. It's a pretty big piece. I'd say this is probably about 7 by 9 feet. And again, he's using these very rugged and crappy pieces of fabric to make his composition with. So there's a lot of young artists here that are fans. This is very subtle. So he just sort of poured a puddle of paint in the middle there. This is maybe the most startling piece in the show. This is the only one that he's got an all over solid layer of paint, real body color. In certain ways, this is like a larger version of the other piece on the other wall with the little figures of this brushed in black background. Well, this smaller piece here is kind of fun. And I would assume this is titled Sam. Get up, you can see it says Sam. Well, I worked at Utrecht Linen Store for about 5 years, so I'm a big fan of linen, and I know that other painters are big linen aficionados. In particular, these edges are called salvages, and those have got some cotton woven in there at the edge of the loom. That's about the only major thing happening here, so it was just a run-through of Sergej Jensen here at Anton Kern on West 20th Street. Thanks, Kate.